Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Adult Game Reviews. This week I played part 1 and 2 of Element 174 by Naughty Games.
Oh, naughty you.
Not naughty, naughty. Part 1 was started in 2019, so it's been 7 years, and there's a part 3 on the way at some point. So after all this time, is it worth jumping in? Let's find out. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let's all head over to SPG's channel and congratulate Annie for hitting 100,000 subs. We aren't a super large community, so we're all better when we stick together and support each other. Congratulations, Annie. Okay, so you play the MC who mysteriously gets a full ride to Branchfield University. You're a college freshman and you're interested in some of your classes, but mostly making friends and meeting girls. Weirdly, this game reminds me of the Terminator movies.
Come with me if you want to live.
Where your choices can shape the world, which for me is pretty awesome, but more on this later. Visually, this game is super basic. I'm guessing 7 years ago Element 174 looked pretty good, but now it feels really dated. I know the visuals have been upgraded for part 2, but even so, it went from a D in visuals to maybe a C if I'm being generous. Most of the walls are empty, the character models are very inconsistent, with some characters looking good like Zoe, to others looking rougher, and a lot of reuse of the same renders. Go to class, go home, go to the campus, rinse and repeat, with some variation depending on whose path you're on. And if you think the renders are rough, the animations are worse. They were jerky and honestly just not that good to look at. They improved slightly in part 2, but it went from poor to less poor in part 1 and 2. Now, I know the dev has discussed redoing the renders for part 1, but I do think to make this game something that people will want to play without knowing anything about it, definitely needs a visual overhaul. Now, audio-wise, it's average. There are sporadic sound effects and a lot of commonly used music in all these games.
It was fine.
Okay, so right now I know it sounds like I didn't like this game, but let me be clear, I did, and it's not because of the visuals or the audio. The story is set up into days, with part 1 being around 14 days and part 2 going to 21 days. The game starts with you as a college freshman, going to classes and meeting people. Each time you make a decision, they tend to take you on different paths with different people. Then the decisions you make determine if you keep those relationships. For instance, let's discuss Chloe. When she invited me over, I didn't flake or make any other plans. I kept my date, which really helped progress my relationship with her.
I was a good boy.
This is where the game shines. While the first 5 or 6 days feels like a mediocre slice of life game, going to class and randomly talking to girls, around day 6 or 7 the game really took off. I was thoroughly engaged. What felt like a run-of-the-mill slice of life game led into a pretty unique sci-fi game. This felt especially true if you're on Zoe's path. Now the slice of life pops up back here and there. Sometimes with all the craziness that happens, you have to pretend everything was okay, which is kind of jarring, but overall, the story kept my attention all the way through. However, I was a bit disappointed when day 21 happened and the current content ended, so for me, that's a pretty good sign. Another strength is the butterfly effect style choices and premise. There are 16 different romanceable options, and in my first playthrough with Zoe and Chloe, I was only able to be on 2 paths at once, with me having to choose between them at the end of part 2. The branching and character romanceable options of this game is so very complex. There is a chart for each girl with compatible subroutes, routes with no conflicts, and routes with conflicts. If you have a conflict, then at some point one of your decisions took you in a direction that excluded a certain path. I played through the game a couple of times, and each playthrough was pretty different with some overlap. I loved this. This was my favorite part of the entire game. Getting to know everyone was most of the time a delight. Each girl had an interesting story with traditional visual novel progression, but more on this in the backup section. Now, a couple of things to point out. To enjoy whatever path you're on, you will likely have to rely on you being okay with the mixed visuals.
It's you scared me.
And not every girl's story was interesting as the others. For me, anyway. I have no idea how many playthroughs it will take to see all the content. 5, 10, 20? I couldn't say. But I also don't think it's necessary to see all the content because there are some girls that I was just not interested in, or I find their character models off-putting. We will see if that changes with any visual upgrades. So what did I think? If the visuals looked better, I have a feeling we would be talking about this game as one of the better branching games we have. It's no wonder it took the dev a long time to get this far with how complex the pathing is. I really enjoyed Element 174 Part 1 and 2 when I played it, so this is a play for me. However, there are a couple of things that may give you pause in playing it right now. The first is the length of development. It's taken 7 years to get to part 2, so I honestly have no idea how long it will take for part 3, which will conclude everything eventually. The second thing is the cost. Part 1 had 14 days and part 2 had 7, so both parts costing $11.99 with part 2 feeling like less content gives me mixed feelings. So if you want to play it now, I would absolutely wait for a discount. My only hope is that we don't have to wait another 3 years for it to complete. I want to thank all my backers on Patreon and Subscribestar, and if you haven't seen my updated review of Intertwined, you can check it out right here. Thanks again. Until next time.